Hey, Terrence. Tell me, hold your head back. Tell me. I love Dodgers. And I love Tom Lasorda.
Propaganda personified. Dodgers skipper Tommy Lasorda never lets up. Let's look at the lineup card for the American League facing National Young Award winner Tommy Glavine. Leading things off in the outfield, a longtime member of the Milwaukee Brewers, Paul Molitor. Young man, the American League Rookie of the Year, Chuck Knobloch, will hit second over at second base. Also in the outfield, Minnesota Twins Kirby Puckett. Cecil Fielder, hopefully he'll park a few this afternoon in the cleanup spot. Over at first base, Cal Ripken Jr. is at short, the Orioles MVP of the American League. Frank Thomas, you should have seen him in batting practice. Also in the outfield. Then it's Ken Griffey Jr. in the outfield, along with Robin Ventura, third of the White Sox, Mickey Tettleton, the Tigers catcher behind the plate, and Brian Harvey, the relief specialist for the Angels, is out on the hill defensively. 10 players, 4 outfielders with the rover. Bonilla, Gwynn, Johnson, and O'Neill in the outfield. On the infield, it's Bagwell, Sandberg, Pendleton, the National League MVP, with Biggio behind the plate, and Tommy Glavine out on the hill. Well, the home plate umpire, Bob Kaufman, is given the green light, Tommy, and we're ready to go. Tommy Glavine facing Paul Molitor to get things started.
You better put a mask on, because if there's a foul ball hit, he's going to get his nose busted.
A little high for ball one. Craig Biggio. Biggio may move to second base for the Houston Astros. Their catcher try to save his legs because he's had an exceptional past 2 seasons. Also good speed behind the plate.
I've never seen a catcher with the running speed that Biggio has. This guy can go down that line as good as any.
Molitor with a fly ball. Tony Gwynn backpedaling. And it's out number 1 up. What a boost, Tommy, for that National League to get that first out. The underdogs coming in, of course.
Psychologically, this could mean a lot to them, Joe.
A curveball delivered by Glavine, retired that first man.
What a year Glavine had. Cy Young Award, outstanding young man. Did a tremendous job for the champions of the National League, the Atlanta Braves.
Rookie of the Year, Knobloch shooting it down the right field line for a base hit. O'Neill gathers it in after a 1-out single by the Minnesota Twins second baseman. Another look, Tommy, at that scorcher down the right field line. You love to see those guys go the other way, don't you, Tom?
Well, that's Knobloch's style. He uses the whole field.
Kirby Puckett. What a great personality. Great They're doing the ball. Glavine says that Puckett calls for time.
No. The umpire called timeout.
Okay.
TV camera back there.
Kirby Puckett belting it deep to left field. And gathering it in very nonchalantly on his backside. It's Bobby Bonilla. The first dive of the day.
I'll tell you, that was a good catch. I didn't think Bonilla was going to catch up to that ball.
Brings up the first baseman, Cecil Fielder.
Yes. He's safe.
Look at this guy. He can go hunting bear with a switch. This guy is so big. Wow, how powerful is this man?
Wait for TV, yeah.
Little upper body strength there for Cecil Fielder. Hit 51 home runs in 1990, 44 last year. Oh, the pitch out. Glavine wanted to see. The man was on the move. Nothing doing over at first base. I asked Tommy Glavine, the starting pitcher for the National League, before the game, can I anticipate any brushback pitches? Says anything that comes back to the box, through the box, the next pitch, automatic brushback. 2-0 count to Cecil Fielder.
I asked Tommy how he's going to pitch Fielder. He said very, very carefully.
There's 2 down as Fielder lifts a lazy fly ball for Bonilla, who's having problems with the high sky, but gathers it in for the final out of the inning. So no runs on a hit and 1 man left on base. The National League pumped up, looking to make a challenge of things coming up for the first time.
Attaboy, Tommy. Way to do it.
Now that everybody wants a big taste of Pepsi, they're going to need a new slogan.
I got it. Pepsi. A wacky cola.
Pepsi tastes great, but only if you drink it. The Jimmy Connor's of cola.
I was going to say that. Tastes good and makes a wonderful gift.
Wild, young, thirsty, and free. If all these people gotta have it, why don't they just say Pepsi? Gotta have it.
There it is.
Gotta have it.
I got 2 words for you. Gotta have it.
Brought just the essentials, huh? What? I think they'll have shampoo there. Might not have Head and Shoulders. We're just going to be gone a week. Right, a week.
Let's say it's the end of the week. We're rested, a little sunburned. Then this stunning brunette sits down beside us. And that's the day your flakes show up.
How do you know when they'll show up?
You never know. You know?
Head and Shoulders, and new Head and Shoulders 2-in-1 with complete conditioners built in. Saturday Sports Showcase is brought to you by Pepsi, Gotta Have It. By the florists of FTD, who would like to say it's as easy as FTD to add a little romance to your life. By Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And by Kellogg's, proud sponsor of our 1992 U.S. Olympic team.
The spectacular sights of the Coachella Valley as we welcome you back to Palm Springs. Joel Myers along with Tommy Lasorda, the lineup for the National League, facing Brian Harvey. Tony Gwynn will lead things off in the outfield, batting second at second base. It's the Cubs' Ryan Sandberg. Bobby Bonilla, we saw him out in the left field. He'll hit third with Howard Johnson Hojo in the cleanup spot. Also in the outfield, the Reds' Paul O'Neill. Terry Pendleton, the National League's MVP, at third base with Jeff Bagwell of the Astros over at first. Another Astro, Craig Biggio, behind the plate. Batting ninth, it'll be Mark Lemke, the shortstop. And the pitcher, Tommy Glavine. You really gave a big round of applause for Tommy Glavine on his way to the dugout. I mean, you are into this game, Lasorda.
Yeah, I said that nice pitching, Tommy. You're really fooling them. Hey, Tony, hit one like you do against us, huh?
Around the outfield, Molitor, Griffey, Thomas, and Puckett. The infield has Fielder, Knobloch, Ripken, Ventura, and Templeton behind the plate with Harvey out on the mound.
Every time you hit a ball against us, Tony, it looks like it's got eyes.
Tony Gwynn. He's got to deal with Tommy Lasorda 18 games a year, and now he's getting grief from Lasorda at the Pepsi All-Star game for charity.
What a hitter this guy is. You realize this guy's won the batting title 4 times, and he's not finished yet.
5-time Gold Glove Award winner as well.
What?
317 average last year. Well below his career mark of 328. So you watch his ball one from Brian Harvey. Brian Harvey, the first pitcher for the American League today.
Boy, how many games did Brian Harvey save for the Angels?
46 to be exact to lead the American League, Tom. Fouled away.
Chalk up, Tony.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
A lot of talking and, you know, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of spirit. Let's get on the opposition every once in a while.
Just every once in a while. 2-2 count. On the ground for the third baseman. And that's the first out of the inning.
Robin Ventura made a good play on that ball.
Second baseman from the Chicago Cubs, Ryan Sandberg.
So it brings up Ryan Sandberg. Well, they call Ernie Banks Mr. Cub. I don't know if anybody's been as closely associated with that type of title since Ernie Banks as Ryan Sandberg.
Outstanding. You're looking at a future Hall of Famer right here. Definite.
Fly ball into left field.
Look at the size of that Mickey title bar.
Paul Molitor puts it away for out number 2. They've got Molitor and Griffey in the outfield. Kirby Puckett also out there. So 2 up and 2 down very quickly. And you've got Bobby Bonilla up there with the bases empty. Tommy, what did that pep talk do last night in your hotel room over the linguine clams? Nothing doing so far.
Well, we'll get some action here. Pretty soon, Bobby will get on the base, and Hojo's coming up next. Up, he just missed that ball. He just missed that ball. That's a home run in the regular softball field.
So an easy 1, 2, 3 inning for Brian Harvey of the California Angels. And no score, believe it or not, after 1 in Palm Springs of the Pepsi All-Star Classic.
It's not easy to pull yourself away, pull yourself away, pull yourself away from a bowl of Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Flight 421, you're cleared for takeoff. Do you read?
Those 2 scoops of raisin taste so good, you'll find that once you start, you can't leave behind. It's those 2 scoops that taste too good. Pull yourself away. 2 scoops that taste too good, too good, too good. In Kellogg's Raisin Bran. 2 scoops.
I had this doozy of a sore throat. You know what my doc suggested? Chloraseptic. I actually felt the pain go away in seconds.
Because Chloraseptic penetrates on contact for fastest relief. More doctors say Chloraseptic spray.
If motorcycling has seemed out of reach, maybe you just haven't reached for the right motorcycle. Legendary inline 4 performance is now within your reach. Introducing the Nighthawk 750, only from Honda.
The average daytime high in Palm Springs, 88 degrees, and the average annual rainfall, only 5 inches. Well, we had rain over the last couple of days in Palm Springs. Started to clear up yesterday, though, and an ideal setting for the Pepsi All-Star softball game to benefit Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation. As we move to the second inning, let's move to the National League dugout and skipper Tommy Lasorda.
Hi, everybody. Tommy Lasorda in the National League dugout with the skipper of the National League team and the Hall of Famer, Lou Brock. Lou, I was talking to Rod Carew before the game. I said, Rod, how do you feel about managing against the National League? He said, I think I've got the advantage. I've got the edge because I think I can outsmart the manager of the National League team.
Well, you can outsmart the baseball, though. The softball, you still got to catch the darn thing. You got to hit it. And I think I got some teammates or some team members that can hit that ball.
Lou, we're down 8-2 in this series. How do you feel about that?
Why did you remind me of that? I'm going to disclaim those 8s. I think it started all over today. It's nothing and nothing, and the end of this game is going to be a dogfight.
You know what makes me proud, Lou, is to know that I managed you in the All-Star game. To know that I managed a Hall of Famer the caliber of a Lou Brock.
Yeah, you did. In fact, you embarrassed me, too, because you said you had 25 superstars in me on the team, and I recalled Nolan Ryan was pitching. You wouldn't let me play.
I remember that. What else happened? Do you remember?
Oh, you put me in after Nolan Ryan struck out everybody. You sent me up there, but I tricked you. I got a base hit.
You sure did, Lou. And I remember making you a coach on an All-Star team that I managed when we went to Japan to play the American League All-Stars.
That, too, was an insult. Do you realize I went over as a player and you made me a coach? So I don't know, Tommy, but it's been fun over the years. Been a good friendship with you, and we kid and have a lot of fun. But those incidents you just cited were embarrassment because I was a top player, I thought, until you told me you're going to be a coach.
You were a top player. You were a great player and a great guy, Lou, and a real friend. And good luck to you and the National League team today.
Hey, thank you. We actually need a win.
We'll get it.
Okay.
Back to you, Joel.
Always nice to have an impartial observer like Tommy Lasorda alongside. Cal Ripken watches strike 1. It's a 3-1 count, the American League MVP. We're in the top of the second inning with no score. And Ripken drills it on a line. Ball in front of Howard Johnson for a leadoff single for the American League. Well, the only 2 hits of the game belonging to the junior circuit. That'll bring up the young man who put on quite a display. Tommy Glaffen's going to have to be very careful with the young man at the plate now. Frank Thomas of the Chicago White Sox. Their big outfielder. 6'5", 240 pounds. Now, some, Tommy, have talked about your first base situation. It's not tampering if we just have some fun with it. You wouldn't mind Frank Thomas over at first?
Look at there it goes. I told you. Look at that.
Back at the track. He's got it.
I thought that ball was out of here. I thought the wind held it up a little bit, though. He really crushed that ball.
The wind?
look at Frank.
Another look at the swing. Tommy, a little power generated. Leaped out of his shoes after that one.
Lou Brock is talking to the umpire about something now.
Box, way out of the box on that swing. Hey, this guy's running up.
You want 2 outs or 1 out?
Well, it's not that.
Okay.
That big guy can hit it out if he runs up and get an illegal swing.
Well, that's the name of this game. It's a hitter's game. We got to hit.
What do you think, Greg? What do you think?
Pretty close on it right there.
Close on it?
Pretty close? Pretty close. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll take a look at that line out there. I can't quite see it right now.
They were complaining about him coming out of the batter's box to swing that pitch.
And Lou, Tommy asked me before the game if we could use instant replay through the course of the contest to find out when these players were out of the batting box.
Lou. You did a good job arguing with that guy, Lou.
Did you give him any pointers on his managerial skills?
Well, he really convinced that umpire. Look at him.
Play.
Made quite an impression as Ken Griffey Jr. stands in. He loops it in the left for a base hit, so runners at first and second.
What a beautiful swing he has. You know, he's over in the American League. You don't get to see him too much, but except on television. That young man is some kind of ball player.
So Ripken down at second. Ken Griffey Jr. over at first. All 3 hits in the game belonging to the American League. And Robin Ventura, the third baseman for the Chicago White Sox. Young man from Santa Maria, California, taking it high for ball 1. He won his first Gold Glove this past season.
Glavin's got to make him hit the ball on the ground now. We're looking for a double play in this situation.
Tommy, was that the straight change?
I'll tell you, what's really funny is to see these major leaguers who are swinging at a softball, and it just affects their timing completely.
It's ripped over the head of the second baseman, Sandberg. Will they bring Ripken around? No, he's held up on a strong throw from the outfield by Tony Gwynn. Trouble for your National League All-Stars, Tom. So just out of the reach of Ryan Sandberg, and now Mickey Tettleton. He spent some time in the weight room.
Wow. Look at those arms.
What did you tell me before the game about those arms? First time you saw them.
I said he looked like he's got 2 legs growing out of his shoulders.
So what a no. There's the double play ball they're looking for. They'll give a run up, and they will.
All right.
Oh, there was one away. So that retires the side. Due to that fly ball off the bat of Frank Thomas, there was one down. An inning-ending double play. Glavin out of a big jam, Tom Lasorda. To the American League. Stranding a couple. And still scoreless as we go to the bottom of the second.
Hot coffee and steak in front of strangers at 30,000 feet? Not till I switched. Now I fix it and forget it.
That's good. When people are watching you this closely, you just can't be worried about your dentures. That's why I Fixident and forget it.
Fixident holds stronger than any other adhesive. It even stands up to the hottest liquids.
Taste it, Grandpa.
He never would have tried this with his old adhesive.
For the strongest hold you can get, Fixident and forget it.
Today, Pepsi announced a new slogan. Mere words,
Or is the taste of Pepsi so big, America's really got to have it?
Gotta have it. It's something I felt for years, but never had the words to express.
If it's so popular, how come everybody's drinking it?
Henry's only regret is that he started drinking Pepsi this late in life.
The phrase, gotta have it, strikes a chord deep in the human psyche.
Now that everybody's got to have it, Pepsi's not going to need celebrity endorsers anymore.
And that's what I've been saying all along.
Alka-Seltzer Plus goes to the Arctic Circle, where the toughest colds live.
Alka-Seltzer Plus takes care of the aches, the runny nose. Alka-Seltzer Plus has done exactly what I've needed it to do. It does the job.
Alka-Seltzer Plus, tough medicine for tough winter colds. He was a deadly fanatic who had 2 wives and 9 children. Together, they violated every law, setting off the longest siege in FBI history.
There are 9 kids in harm's way out here.
From the FBI files.
This matter is in God's hands now.
Based on the true story in The Line of Duty, Siege at Marion, NBC Monday.
In Palm Springs, the Pepsi All-Stars have enjoyed the hospitality of the Wyndham Hotel. And when the players weren't out on the golf course, well, the All-Stars and their families, they were soaking up the sun at the Wyndham's 5,000-square-foot pool, the largest facility in Palm Springs. And let's head down to the National League dugout and check in with Tommy.
I'm sitting here with the hero of the World Series for the Atlanta Braves, Mark Lemke. Mark, you had a tremendous World Series, and how do you feel now that it's all over?
I feel relaxed now. It was a lot of tension. I think even going down the stretch there, trying to fight your team there, that was a lot of pressure. And but I think everybody in Atlanta, the team in the city, really enjoyed it.
Where are you making your home now?
Make my home right in Atlanta. A lot of things going on, and it's just easier to stay right there.
Are you having fun, Mark?
Oh, I'm having a lot of fun. It's been a great year.
You know, when you look at World Series heroes, you know, a lot of times it's not the big, powerful hitter. It's the guy that gets the base hits and the line drive hitter, and you're alongside of those great hitters.
Yeah, it's good just to be mentioned with some of those guys, and the fact that we're all about the same size, a lot of us. Hey, you got Terry and Kirby and Chuck Knobloch, all of us about 5'9" in the World Series.
What do you think of your boy Tom Glavine pitching here today?
Oh, great. I'm glad to see Tommy pitching, and he had a great year for us, and hopefully he can keep this team scoreless here.
He's pitching against this American League team exactly like he pitched against us during the season.
Hopefully he'll do it again this year, too, Tommy.
Good luck, Mark. Nice talking to you, buddy.
First man up for the National League, Howard Johnson. On a ground ball to the second baseman, Chuck Knobloch, for the first out of the inning, so 4 up and 4 retired by Brian Harvey, and gets ready to face Paul O'Neill, the outfielder, the right fielder for the Cincinnati Reds. Definite long ball potential. Sends deep to right. It'll roll back to the warning track, where it's retrieved by Kirby Puckett. At least 2. O'Neill trying to stretch it into 3. Does he get there in time? Just barely. He was a blur on the bases.
Hey, Mark.
Another look at the hitting stroke of Paul O'Neill. A 1, a 2, a 1-step, a 2-step, and into it. Kirby Puckett's got to be familiar with flat back type walls like that. Has to feel comfortable in the environs here in Palm Springs. We are at the home of the California Angels single A affiliate, the Palm Springs Angels. In fact, when the California Angels of the American League break their camp down in Arizona, they spend a couple of weeks at this ballpark right before they get ready for the Dodgers in the Freeway Series as Terry Pendleton sends it foul and out of play. So the National League MVP with a strike 1 count. What a turnaround season for Terry Pendleton. Signing with the Atlanta Braves as a free agent, hitting .319 after a .230 year the season before with the St. Louis Cardinals. On the ground, snared by Paul Molitor, looking O'Neill back. Or make it Robin Ventura, rather. Nice play by the White Sox third baseman. And with 2 down, let's go back now to the National League dugout.
Hi, everybody. I'm talking to Bobby Bonilla here. Bobby, you were the talk of the country not too long ago. Everybody was wondering, where will Bobby Bonilla wind up?
It was definitely, you hate to say kind of a stressful situation, but, you know, I'm glad it's all over with, and I picked New York, and everything has been going really, really great.
All right, Bobby. Listen, we'll let you go back out in the field, and we'll talk to you later, okay? Thank you, Bobby.
We'll come back. We'll pick up on a conversation a little bit later with Bobby Bonilla, but the National League wastes a one-out triple, and it's still scoreless.
The Pepsi-Cola Company, stunned by the spontaneous growth of the Gotta Have It movement, responds with a $10 million thank you.
The way it works is simple. First million people to buy 2 multi-packs get $10.
Buying Pepsi is a lot like buying shoes. It's always better to buy 2.
You mean I get the Pepsi and the $10?
I have never seen so many people gravitate toward a multi-pack giveaway.
I gotta have it anyway, so why not just take the $10?
To get your $10, send in proofs of purchase for 2 multi-packs. All entries after the first million get 5 $1 Pepsi coupons.
Flakes? What can I say? I mean, they look kind of stupid just sitting there. Lights out, nobody's home. I mean, look, there's no fruit, there's no raisins, there's nothing in here. There's something about this. It's kind of simple. It's really crunchy. You know, I like them.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes? Cool.
Taste them again for the first time.
This Valentine's Day, make sure you send your sweetheart the FTD flower basket bouquet. Oh, and make sure you send it a day or 2 early, because as Cupid says, if your sweetheart misses out...
It's as easy as FTD.
It's gone. But it isn't.
Introducing extra strength Vicks cough drops.
It's gone, but it's still working.
Now with twice the Vicks Vapor medicine to relieve your cough and help your scratchy throat and stuffy nose feel better, even after the drop is gone.
Well, the players arrived over the last couple of days in the Palm Springs area, and to get things really together before the softball game, well, they had to play a little golf. And before yesterday's Pro-Am golf tournament, well, the Stars put a little long ball hitting display on. National League Rookie of the Year, Jeff Bagwell of the Houston Astros, he captured first prize in the long drive contest with a smash of 312 yards. Now, that's the good. The bad, the ugly, here we go. Lou Brock, the Hall of Famer. Show us how it's done, Lou. What a perfect form, but his head just off that axis. You know, you're supposed to rotate there off that axis. That head moved just a little bit. Lou, what are you going to tell them back home now?
John! That we call a crusher. You can turn the camera off. I told Mom I was hitting one out of sight.
Sorry we ruined the story for you, Lou. We move to the top of the 3rd inning. And there's no scores. Brian Harvey will lead it off for the American League. He's held the National League to only 1 hit so far. Now, don't forget that Brian Harvey, before he was signed by the California Angels to their minor league system, he was a fastball or a fastball pitcher in a softball league. He was an exceptional pitcher. Fast pitch, softball, and then turned it over. And now, what a success story for the California Angels, the American League leader in saves last year with 46 and a 1.60 earned run average. It looks like the case that we had suspected, that he's not handled a bat all that often recently. Slow roller out in front of the plate from one pitcher to the next, and there's one away. So Brian Harvey, the first out in the top of the 3rd. A pitcher's duel already in Palm Springs. And around to the top of the batting order. And the Milwaukee Brewers third baseman is positioned in the outfield today, Paul Molitor. Play. Comebacker for Tommy Glavine. Quickly. 2 down in the 3rd. And joining us now, along the first base foul line, star of television for many, many years, the theater I know as well, Robert Guillaume. Thank you for taking the time to be a part of all of this for a great charity.
It's my pleasure. This is wonderful. Nothing like being out here for a baseball game, is it?
It's a perfect setting in Palm Springs, and nice to see Terrence have such a great time with the ceremonial first pitch.
Yeah, he was sweet, wasn't he? He really wound up. He got himself together, had his little... Whoa, what's that? No, that's nothing.
It's unfortunately the final out of the inning. We'll come back. We'll continue our conversation with Robert Guillaume after a 1-2-3 inning for Tommy Glavine of the National League All-Stars, retiring the American League in order for the first time. Here, right back to Palm Springs.
Okay, Kenny Moscow, Cinderella story from Long Island, New York. Puts it up. Yes, 2 points. The crowd's going crazy. He passes it out. They pass it back. He's got the hot hand. He pops it. Whoa, whoa, he was hacked unmercifully. There's a whistle. He's going in now for the slam dunk. Yes, Mr. Hustle, the money man. And once again, he sets up for the famous hook shot. 5-7, and he's got a hook shot. Unheard of, unheralded. Woo! I love this game. I love this game.
Call Pizza Hut for the new 6-cheese pizza with 6 delicious cheeses. Get one for $7.99 and a second for $4 more. And don't forget to add your favorite toppings. Call now.
Michael, Magic, Sir Charles, Mr. Robinson, the world's greatest athletes will all be there to play in the NBA All-Star Game Sunday.
At nearly 9,000 feet, the San Jacinto Mountains towering over Palm Springs, the Coachella Valley, on an absolutely ideal setting as we welcome you back. It's the American League and National League All-Stars in the Pepsi All-Star Softball Game. I'm Joel Myers alongside once again Robert Guillaume. And we couldn't ask for better weather. We need rain in Southern California as well.
This is beautiful.
But it worked out well.
Yeah, I left Los Angeles this morning. It was still overcast. I got down here. It was really nice and beautiful. The sky's clearing off nicely. This is wonderful. This big crowd. You know, this is the first time I've ever known about this. About this game.
Single A ballpark.
Yeah.
And you're going to be, I know you've already promised Tommy Lasorda, you're going to be singing the national anthem at Dodger Stadium at least once this year.
Yeah. He said he's going to give me a schedule of who's going to sing, and he said he wanted me to do it. So I'm going to do that for him.
Thank you for coming to Palm Springs for such a great charity.
It's my pleasure. I'm so proud of Pepsi and Pizza Hut and all the other people who are going to give some money to sickle cell for this on this event. It's really marvelous. Really marvelous.
Thank you, Robert. See you at the stadium this year.
Okay, Joe. Thank you.
Robert Guillaume joining us this afternoon. And the biggest benefit, of course, the Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation. Over $600,000 has been raised over the first 10 years, with better than 50% of that going to the Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation, other charities, of course, included. And leading things off for the National League, the catcher for the Houston Astros, Craig Biggio, as Brian Harvey has only given up one base hit to the National League All-Stars. Getting a little bit embarrassing here. Speaking of an embarrassing subject, believe it or not, we coerced Tommy Lasorda to go into the American League dugout as Biggio belts it in the right center. Nobody will catch up into that one.
We've got to get 3 on this.
He'll stop at second with a leadoff double. And now, let's head over to the American League dugout with Tommy.
I'm not too happy sitting in this dugout because I had a lot more fun in that National League dugout. But I am talking to the Hall of Famer, one of the greatest hitters that has ever played the game, and the manager of the American League All-Stars. Rod, I told your counterpart over there, Lou Brock, that you had the edge on him because you told me you could outsmart him from pitch 1. I don't know, if I'm causing any problems between you and Lou.
Well, you know what, Tommy, he came over after the first inning, and he asked me to coach his team also, so I guess he must have believed what you were saying to him. But the guys here in the dugout yelled and said, no way, they can't let him let me go.
They hit the throw, not in time to nail Biggio, and the National League takes an early lead.
He's smiling. Look at him. Let me tell you something. Brock came over here and he said to Rod, he said, hey, Rod, don't let this guy come between us. And he said, you know why, Tommy? You will never come between the two of us. I said, why? He said, because between us, we got 6,000 hits. And I said, yeah, I gave up 6,000 hits. Rod, really enjoyed talking to you. Good luck, and we really appreciate you coming out and giving of your time.
Well, thanks very much, Tommy. I think the guys out here ought to be commended because, you know, they've taken the time, and this is a great cause, and these guys really get into doing this type of stuff and helping the different charities out.
We're happy you're back in the big leagues as a coach. Continued success. You're one of the real all-time great hitters.
Well, thank you very much, Tommy.
Fly ball
Thanks,
off
Rod.
the bat of Tommy Glavine, taken care of by Knobloch as Lemke has to stay put at second base. And that is the first out in the bottom of the third.
Yeah.
Normally, it is like home run derby. Remembering that old show that they shot at Wrigley Field in Los Angeles in the 50s. The setting in Palm Springs, and not too many balls flying out of the ballpark this afternoon. But don't forget, we are playing with regular fences out there. On the ground, off the bat of Tony Gwynn, and it's a base hit, advancing Lemke to third, with runners at the corners now with one away for the National League All-Stars. As I was about to say, now if you remember the last couple of All-Star games down in Florida, well, the fences were probably a good 100 feet in, more like 260, 280 down the left field line. Now, as you can see, it's 360 down the left field and right field foul lines, and 408 to straightaway center field. You can also see that large Pepsi can in center field. If you hit the Pepsi can, it's a ground rule double. Now, we are politicking here right along the National League dugout to implement a new rule. If you hit the top of that Pepsi can, it's got to be a round tripper, Tommy.
If he hits the top of that Pepsi can, he ought to get 2 home runs out of it. That's about an $8 ride in a taxi cab.
It's a long way out there. Rod Carew, what is he talking about now, Tommy, with Brian Harvey? He seems very upset. Oh, Bonilla coming up. You want to talk to him?
Yeah, let me talk to Bobby. Bobby, let me ask you a question. As a youngster, you grew up in New York. Did you go to the ball games, the major league game?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. As many as we could sneak in.
Did you try to get autographs?
Oh yeah, my very first one was Rod Carew, and I had a chance to tell him that yesterday, and I shook his hand, and it was still a great thrill for me.
Bobby, they tell me that you are donating to the high schools in New York. Can you tell the folks about it?
You know, we wanted, me and my wife really feel that athletics was an important part of my life and me getting to where I am today. And it was through high school and all the sports I played through elementary and junior high school that made this all possible. So we wanted to be able to donate money so they were able to get equipment and things of that nature. So we're really looking forward to doing something special like that.
Bobby, that's great. Thanks, guys. Good luck. Nice going there, Mark. Way to go, buddy.
Tommy's at home. This is exactly like at Dodger Stadium for all of us that are regulars at the ballpark in Southern California. He's the first one out of the dugout when somebody crosses the plate. Tommy, you're working this dugout situation quite well, I might add.
Well, thank you, Joe. It's nice. It's very interesting talking to these players that when the season begins, I'll start hollering at, you know.
Bonilla trying to go the other way. Knobloch ranging and putting it away for the final out of the inning. But a couple of runs on the board now for the National League All-Stars on 3 hits in the third, and at the end of 3, it's a 2-0 lead for the Nationals.
Tonight, the Golden Girls are in jeopardy.
American hero buried in Grant's tomb. Who is Terry Grant?
Merv Griffin and Alex Trebek on a special Golden Girls. Then the price of romance.
For $50 an hour, they're gonna love it.
On Walter and Emily. And it's Dinah Manoff's real-life mom as Lee Grant moves into empty nest. Then it's Nurses, all new NBC tonight.
44 years ago, Dr. Donald L. Golden opened the first DOC. Since then, 5 million people have entrusted DOC to make their glasses. To say thank you on our anniversary, we're cutting the price on prescription eyeglasses $40. That's right, you'll get $40 off every pair of glasses, or get soft contacts for just $40. We guarantee you'll be 100% satisfied, or your money back. Right, Dad?
You have our word on it.
1991 left hundreds of Cleveland stores with overstocked inventory.
So we're announcing the greatest sell-off event ever held under one roof.
It's Cleveland on sale at the IX Center February 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Save up to 50, 60, even 80%.
Never before have so many of Cleveland's greatest stores offered such massive price reductions on clothing,
electronics,
furniture,
jewelry,
fitness equipment,
and much, much more at prices you never thought possible.
Cleveland on sale is the shopping event of the year.
February 7th, 8th, and 9th at the IX Center.
Don't miss it.
The Money Store is opening the door on our best rates ever. To kick off our 25th anniversary, we want to help homeowners by providing $250 million in low fixed-rate home equity loans. Be among the first 25,000 homeowners nationwide to qualify, and you can take advantage of our best rates ever. Call the Money Store right now. 1-800-LOAN-YES. The Money Store, where America goes for money.
Protect your child from a newly discovered medical disorder. Mondays, first report.
Welcome back once again to Palm Springs. Temperature close to 90 degrees today down in the Coachella Valley. It's the National League All-Stars with a 2-0 lead over the American League All-Stars. I'm Joel Myers alongside Tommy Lasorda. Now, Tommy, after all these years of managing the Los Angeles Dodgers, could be a lot of fun now to pick up on some of the strategy that normally goes through your mind through the course of a half inning and what you're thinking about, especially when the opposition is out there. How do you pitch to certain hitters? So take us over the next 6 outs through the next couple of half innings, what you would think about.
Well, right now I'm thinking about my pitcher. We have a 2-run lead. How has he been pitching? As he's starting to tire. Now, surprisingly, you, as a manager of a Major League Baseball team, you have to also think of negative things. What will I do if this young man gets in trouble? Who will I have ready in order to bring in? Who are the hitters that are coming up this inning? Are they all right-hand hitters or are they all left-hand hitters? Then I have to get the guys warming up accordingly to what the type of hitters that they have in the lineup. All of these things are going through my mind right now. Glavine has not been very, very successful with some of these hitters. They've hit the ball hard off of him, but they've hit it right at somebody. So evidently, he doesn't have his good stuff today.
All right, the first to face Tommy Glavine is going to be Kirby Puckett. If you were talking to Glavine before he headed out of the dugout, what would your first comment be, your instructions on how to deal to Kirby Puckett?
My comment would be to him as he's walking out of the dugout, how do you feel, Tommy? If he says, I feel good, Skipper, I said, okay, I feel good too. I said, be careful, you got 3 heavy hitters coming up. Puckett can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Paul O'Neill moving back, and he takes care of Kirby Puckett for the first out in the top of the 4th.
If you saw Bonilla go the other way and you see Kirby Puckett going the other way, it's for one reason. These fellas, their timing is not real good with this slow pitch. They can't wait long enough for the ball to come to them. So by going to the opposite field, it will allow them to wait a little bit longer. That's what they need to do in order to hit that slow pitch.
The next hitter now, Cecil Fielder for the American League. Got to deal to him carefully.
Right now, you say to your defense, get back. Get way back. If you can get on top of the fence, get up there. Look at this. Look at that fake bunt. I mean, Pendleton's in left field. See what I mean?
Territory on the infield.
You see what I mean, Joe? He could not wait long enough for that ball. That's why he popped that ball up. He's got to wait just a little bit longer.
I can't hit that ball, man. It was too high. I can't hit that softball, man.
Now.
Now I'm sitting in the dugout feeling a lot better because he's got 2 outs and nobody on.
I'm a pop-up artist.
That's the thing that helps
That's
the manager.
softball. I can't hit it. Daddy, what happened, Daddy? Oh, popped up, man. Trying to get some extension, and I got...
Play.
Cal Ripken Jr. at the plate. On a line for Bobby Bonilla. And another 1, 2, 3 innings. So that is 7 in a row now retired.
Hey, Biggio, put your mask on. A lot of the people are leaving the ballpark.
Craig Biggio of the Houston Astros. Taking it from Lasorda as well as we continue from Palm Springs with the Pepsi All-Stars softball game.
If you're looking for a shampoo that's tough on dandruff, nothing works better than this. Head & Shoulders Intensive Treatment. With the most effective medicine you can buy without a prescription. There's no better treatment than Head & Shoulders Intensive Treatment. We dare you to have dandruff.
When you're all stuffed up and use an ordinary nasal spray, it drips into your tissue where it can't help you breathe. But not Sinex Ultrafine Mist. Its medicine stays where you need it, so you can breathe the way you want to. We don't drip down, we clear up.
So I'm in the grocery store, and this really good-looking guy smiles at me and says,
Hi.
Hi. Kellogg's Reflex?
Oh,
Well, these are mine. My folks are visiting.
He didn't have to be embarrassed. I love Kellogg's Bran Flakes. They have this nutty, toasted wheat taste that is really great. Anyway, I grab a box of Kellogg's Bran Flakes and say, gee, that's too bad. I was going to compliment your good taste.
The toasted taste of Kellogg's Bran Flakes.
They're not what you expect.
1988. The youth of the world gathered in Seoul. Everlasting memories, brought to you by the International Olympic Committee.
Tomorrow, see the world's greatest athletes gather at the NBA All-Star Game. Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing lead the Eastern Conference All-Stars against David Robinson, Magic Johnson, and the best in the West. That coverage starts at 3 o'clock Eastern with NBA Showtime. It's all hosted by Bob Costas and Quinn Buckner. That's the NBA All-Star Game tomorrow on NBC Sports. That's in Orlando, and right now, we're in Palm Springs. And yesterday, the players were polled at the Pepsi All-Star softball game, polled on their favorite NBA player. And the results of that poll, Michael Jordan edging out Magic Johnson, Tommy. Karl Malone also right there, along with Larry Bird. What about Tommy Lasorda's favorite NBA All-Star?
Well, I have two favorites, and I have to put them both together. I think the world of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. They are two exciting players, and they've been consistently great over the years.
No arguments from here. Throw in Michael Jordan, and what a trifecta.
Here we go.
As we continue, Hojo ready to lead things off for the National League All-Stars. And the National League All-Stars, Tommy, I think that Linguinian Clams in your room last night did the trick. They're up by 2.
Yeah, but the game's not over yet. The manager worries all the time. The only time he relaxes is when the game is over and he's got that victory in his pocket.
Play.
Now, here you are, Tommy, in the Dodgers dugout. Hojo starting off the inning for the New York Mets.
All right,
Let's
that's
talk
what
strategy.
A base hit.
Most of his power from the left side, the switch hitter. Nice stroke. Hojo had an incredible season, and it probably wasn't looked at as strongly as some other years of other players because of the controversy surrounding the New York Mets. As Paul O'Neill fouls it away down the right field line and out of play. But Hojo had incredible numbers, leading the National League in home runs, also RBIs. But what happened in the dugout too often overshadowed his numbers, Tommy.
That's right. He's a tremendous ball player. Now I think they're thinking about playing him in the outfield. Wherever you put that guy, you know one thing, he's going to be an outstanding ball player. O'Neill, this is a guy that's been a real thorn in our side. This fellow really wears our Dodger staff out during the year. He's an outstanding ball player. You know, he hit the ball good the last time up, and I'll tell you why. Most of these guys are swinging real hard. If you watch him, he's not taking this long swing. He's got a short, compact swing, and that's what you have to do in order to hit that softball.
1-2 count to the Cincinnati Reds right fielder.
Russ, try again. Try it again.
Trying to get the ball over the fence for the fans. Frank Thomas, and finally it works. A souvenir. This is a sold-out affair. The benefit, the
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation. Great cause, a super turnout. The new first baseman is O'Neill, sends it in the same direction as Wally Joyner has taken over defensively for the American League. And big Frank Thomas has it, 6'5", 240 pounds for the first out of the inning. Now it's Terry Pendleton. What a turnaround, Tommy, from the Cardinals to the Braves and an MVP award.
That's quite a switch he made. He's an outstanding ball player, and I'll tell you something. He did such a fantastic job for the Braves this past year. They would have been in real trouble without this guy.
Play.
As you can see, 230 with the Redbirds to 319 with Atlanta.
And I'll tell you something. He's an outstanding third baseman.
On a line, Joyner's got it for out number 2.
There's another one tried to go the opposite field.
So Terry Pendleton is gone. And it brings up Jeff Bagwell. He's looking for his first hit of the contest, flying out to center field in his first at bat. A 2-0 lead for the National League.
Play.
This game has extra innings written all over it. I see a comeback for the American League and a tight affair down the stretch, Tommy.
Well, that's possible.
Popped up. Shallow right center. Kirby Puckett calling. Griffey takes over. So after the leadoff single by Hojo, it is wasted. O'Neill, Pendleton, and Bagwell retired as the National League is gone. But still a shutout working for the left-hander for the Atlanta Braves. The National League starting pitcher Tommy Glavine had a 2-0 lead for the National League. Be right back to Palm Springs.
Now that everybody wants a big taste of Pepsi, they're going to need a new slogan.
I got it. Pepsi, a wacky cola.
Pepsi tastes great, but only if you drink it. The Jimmy Connors of cola.
I was going to say that.
Tastes good and makes a wonderful gift.
Wild, young, thirsty, and free. If all these people gotta have it, why don't they just say Pepsi? Gotta have it.
There it is.
Gotta have it.
I got 2 words for you. Gotta have it.
Dear USA, did you know there is a city wrapped in marbles, crowned by a living mountain? Paradise at its feet. Did you know the stones around her are treasures, and that her towers embrace the sky? In Catalonia, there's a magical city where the friends you make are friends for life. It's Barcelona. It's in Spain.
Palm Springs in the beautiful Coachella Valley. It's a 30-mile stretch of desert made green by over 80 championship golf courses. And there's nothing like a relaxing round of golf, is there? Good-looking swing. Didn't you like the way he brought that up so quickly? Well, at least he was trying to put the divot back in. It's a 2-0 lead for the National League as we move to the 5th inning. And then let's head over to the American League dugout with Tommy once again.
Guys like that on my team.
Tommy.
I'm talking to Cal Ripken, the MVP of the American League. Cal, what a sensational year you had.
It was just a storybook type, unbelievable. I was expecting to have a slump somewhere in that season, but it just kept going.
Cal, the consecutive game streak, what do you think about that? How is your feeling about that?
Well, in the offseason, you get a chance to think about it. But during the season, it can be very counterproductive. It can change your focus and your approach if you think about the game ahead of you or the 2 weeks down the road. I just try to play it one game at a time the way you're supposed to.
Well, you know, if you didn't have a year like you did and you went into a slump, everybody would say, hey, this guy's playing too much. That's the reason why he's slumping. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think one good thing about last year, the fact that I had such a good year all the way through it, and I finished strong in the month of September, maybe some of my critics will step back and say, well, maybe it's not because he's tired.
Great, and I'm going to tell you something. You're not only a great player, you're a tremendous role model for the youth of our country. Nice going, pal.
Thank you.
Cal Ripken Jr. had not only an MVP season, but also had the largest increase in batting average in the majors. Well, at the same time, though, his brother Billy Ripken, also of the Orioles, had the biggest decrease in batting average in the majors. I wonder if it was tough on family relations during the offseason for Billy and Cal. How many times did they actually get together for dinners? Big Frank Thomas. Call him sir when you address Frank Thomas. Leads it off for the American League. Thomas, Ken Griffey Jr. and Robin Ventura of the White Sox coming up. Top of the 5th inning. And Let's Play 2 has arrived to the ballpark. Is there anybody with a better attitude than Ernie Banks? Ernie Banks here as well in Palm Springs. That almost caught the light standard. Where did I park my car is the better question. The scramble for a Frank Thomas foul ball.
Glenn, I got Ernie Banks.
Go right ahead. Take it away with Ernie, Tom.
Right thing, baby.
Ernie gets in trouble all the time.
Am I ready? Okay, here I am with Mr. Cub himself, the great shortstop, Ernie Banks. Ernie, good to see you, buddy.
Thank you. Nice seeing you, Tommy. Isn't this wonderful?
Do you live here?
No, I just come down to visit, see the guys play. I was hoping that they play 2 today.
What do you think, Ernie? The National League is out in front, 2-0.
Well, it looks very good. I enjoy these young players. They all have great ability. And here's a young man that I really would like to see play, Griffey Jr.
Got a tremendous swing. This guy can play.
Well, he could play for the Cubs, couldn't he?
Hey, wait a minute, Ernie. That's tampering. Ernie, see that sign out there? Gotta have it?
Yeah.
Big Frank Thomas hit one over there in batting practice. Now, you've swung at a softball. What do you think about that drive?
That's a real powerful drive. It means that he timed the ball real well. He's got everything in it to get it that far. But it is a beautiful day, and I'm so happy to see this, and I know it's for a good cause, and I know everybody's enjoying it here.
Ernie, let me tell you something. What an ambassador for the baseball game and the Cubs that you are. May you enjoy many, many happy years of good health.
Thank you very much.
You're the greatest. Ernie Banks, how about it?
All right, Tommy, thanks, Ernie. Ken Griffey Jr., the next to hit for the American League, coming off a sensational season with a .327 average. Can always do it at the plate. Also, does it in the field quite well. Spectacular plays regularly at the Kingdome in Seattle as we look back on one last season. Two-time Gold Glove winner, Ken Griffey Jr., the last 2 seasons. So he hits with the leadoff man aboard in a dangerous situation, as that was the first walk issued by either pitcher. Griffey gets into one. Tony Gwynn can't catch up with it. No. Extra bases. Thomas lumbering around third to throw the plate. Cut off by Bagwell, and it's an RBI triple in the first run of the game for the American League.
I'm telling you, Joe, he hit that ball a ton. See, when you get that ball above the fence in height, the wind holds it back. I'm telling you, he really crushed that one.
Sold-out crowd starting to make noise. Almost sounds like an American League crowd at this California Angels single-A affiliate ballpark.
Well, you know the amazing thing about today, Joe? This ballpark was full before the game began.
Robin Ventura, the White Sox.
The infield's playing up now. They want to cut that run off at home plate.
It's a 2-1 lead for the National League. One hopper for Ryan Sandberg.
Pretty good play right there.
On the backhand side, Tommy. Tough, difficult play.
Look at that play. Does it all the time.
He's won a few Gold Gloves himself.
A Hall of Famer, definitely.
Okay, here we go.
Well, he's in his free agent season. His last year under his current contract with the Chicago Cubs.
So is Ripken.
It's going to be interesting to see what develops for Ryan Sandberg.
There's the run.
That'll be good enough for a run on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Mickey Tettleton. And it is now all even in Palm Springs, California. The American League is tied up the National League at 2 on the Griffey triple. He comes home with a fly ball by Tettleton. Tommy, time now for the National League. What do they have to do to get Glavin back in it?
The National League must get this out right here, get the 2 outs, and then go to work there. But they're going to come into the bat. They're going to score some runs.
Brian Harvey, the pitcher for the American League. Watch who's ball 1.
The same thing in baseball. Those bases on balls, they'll make the managers gray, believe me.
Slow roller for Tommy Glavin. Well, it was a leadoff walk to Frank Thomas, the first walk of the game that came around to burn Tom Glavin. So Glavin gave up the walk. That walk comes around to kill you every time. It did on the triple off the bat of Ken Griffey Jr. And a new game as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning in Palm Springs. The American plays 2, and it's all tied up in the 11th annual Pepsi All-Star Softball Game for Charity.
I had this doozy of a sore throat. You know what my doc suggested? Chloraseptic. I actually felt the pain go away in seconds.
Because Chloraseptic penetrates on contact for fastest relief. More doctors say Chloraseptic spray.
What are you now, 30, 35?
I won't grow up.
It's a kid's cereal.
Not even for a day.
Does anyone else know?
I'll do what makes me happy, no matter what you say.
If growing up means giving up the sweet crunch of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
I'll never grow up, never grow up.
What if we all acted like kids?
What a lovely thought.
Never grow up, not me.
Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, the taste you never outgrow. They're great.
Oh, what a move by Jordan.
Magic.
Yes. Let it go. Yes.
The world's greatest athletes will all be there to play in the NBA All-Star Game, Sunday on NBC.
Don't forget tomorrow, see the very best in the world at the NBA All-Star Game. Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, so many others, the Eastern Conference All-Stars, and Magic Johnson, along with the best in the West, including David Robinson. They're all there, and it all starts at 3 o'clock Eastern with NBA Showtime, hosted by Bob Costas and Quinn Buckner. The NBA All-Star Game tomorrow on NBC Sports. And don't forget, during the pregame show of the NBA All-Star Game, very interesting interview with Magic Johnson. Dick Enberg sat down with Magic Johnson. You'll see portions of that a little bit later today, right after the Pepsi All-Star softball game from Palm Springs. And then the rest of that interview with Dick Enberg and Magic Johnson tomorrow before the All-Star Game. Oh, we pulled the players a little bit earlier this weekend. Who did they feel would be the All-Star MVP tomorrow? Magic Johnson, the winner by a vote over Michael Jordan. Charles Barkley, also right there with Scottie Pippen of the Chicago Bulls, but the favorite of so many here this weekend, Magic Johnson of the Los Angeles Lakers. We move to the bottom of the 5th inning. Will we see extra innings? It's a 7-inning softball game. And it's all for charity to benefit the Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation. And before we get the bottom of the 5th started in the National League coming up, let's head to Tommy once again.
I'm sitting here with the MVP of the National League and one of the greatest second basemen that's ever played the game, Terry Pendleton and Ryne Sandberg. Terry, tell me something. The switch from the Cardinals to the Braves to a tremendous year. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'd say it was real relaxing for me, Tommy. It was an opportunity for me to get out of St. Louis with a lot of things that were happening there, and for me to get settled in someplace and get relaxed, and that's exactly what I did in Atlanta last year.
Well, you had a tremendous season for the Braves, and not only are you an outstanding offensive player, as I said before, that you can play that third base as good as anybody I've ever seen.
Well, I go out and work hard at it. That's something I take a lot of pride in. I know a lot of ball games are won defensively as well as offensively.
On to my right, here's a young man that I feel has got one step right in the Hall of Fame right now. This guy is a tremendous ball player. Ryan, I'm going to just say one thing. Watching you play second base is a treat.
Well, thank you. You know, I take a lot of pride in playing second base myself, just like Terry and just like all the guys do. We're all professionals, and we have to work hard, and we have to work hard in the off season, and that's what I'm doing right now. Looking forward to another good year this year.
Ryan, you started to play night games in Chicago. How do you feel about that?
Well, I kind of like it. I think we only play like 17 or 18 now, but you know, it's kind of nice. Little change of routine for us from the day games, but to throw in a night game once in a while at Wrigley Field is a lot of fun for the players and the fans.
What brings Ryne Sandberg to this ball game here?
Well, this is my 7th, and I've just enjoyed it every year, and it's a good event, great cause, a lot of fun, and the players that they can bring to this type of a game is outstanding. And you know, we can be teammates for one day, and then once the season starts, you know, it's time to get competitive. But we have a lot of fun out here.
Continued success against the Dodgers, both you and Terry. I don't like to see you guys when we play it.
The San Jacinto Mountains alongside the Coachella Valley. Beautiful Palm Springs, California, the site for the 11th annual Pepsi All-Star softball game. And Craig Biggio will start it off for the National League from the Houston Astros. Craig flying out to center field in his first 2 at-bats. Watches it hit the plate for ball 1. So it'll be Biggio, Lemke, and the pitcher Tom Glavine coming up for the National League. They got their 2 in the 3rd. And at the top of this inning, the American League got 2 to tie things up. Lou Brock, Hall of Famer of the St. Louis Cardinals. Off the end of the bat of Biggio, slicing away from Puckett, and he can't come up with it.
I got third!
Will he try for 3? No. Stopping with 2, it's Craig Biggio. So an opportunity already for the National League to take the lead. One of the great smiles in all of sport, that of Kirby Puckett. And Biggio going the other way. Kirby almost got into the webbing.
Hey, Glenn, I got Tommy Glavine.
Man, terrible, man.
Kirby.
Better watch Frank, man.
Can't keep Kirby down.
Terrible, Frank.
As now Mark Lemke is ready to hit for the National League All-Stars.
Here we go.
And a slight delay, and we're ready to go once again as we head back to the dugout. Things are cooking now since Lasorda moved into the National League dugout. Tommy, stay there.
Listen, I have Tommy Glavine here. Tommy, the Cy Young Award winner of the National League. Tommy, I looked at your numbers, and you made a tremendous change from last year to this year. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's just going out there and doing the things I did in '89 when I had a good year. I was just throwing a lot of strikes, working ahead of the hitters, and using my changeup a lot.
Tommy, you came here for this ball game. Tell me something. Why did you come all the way out here to participate in this game?
Well, it's for a good cause, number one. You know, anytime we can try and help out a charity like this, it's always worthwhile. And it's just a fun weekend to get out here with some of the guys that you play against all year long, get a chance to meet them and see what they're like. And, you know, like I say, just get to know them a little bit from a different point of view opposed to playing against them all the time.
Listen, we were embattled in a tremendous battle this past year, the Dodgers and the Braves. They said, experts have said that may be one of the most exciting battles since 1904. How'd you feel about that tremendous battle?
Well, I was just glad to be a part of the whole thing. You know, I don't know whether it was the best or it wasn't, but I just know as far as being a player, it was a lot of fun to go through it and a lot of excitement. I know the people in the public enjoyed it, and I thought it was good for baseball, so that was really all that really mattered.
Thank you, Tommy Glavine. Listen, you better go get some of that pizza they're serving here. Good luck, Tommy.
Well, the National League, I understand, is appealing that last tight play at second base. Let's take another look. Was Biggio caught off the bag? The tag applied. Well, now, after review, the public address announcer has announced to the fans here in Palm Springs that the replay was inconclusive. I think he's got 3D glasses on. Lou Brock very upset. He was the one who wanted to go to instant replay for this matchup. So the play stands as called at second base. And now the pitcher, Tommy Glavine, standing in. It remains tied at 2. Over at first on a fielder's choice is Mark Lemke. Had a fly ball for Ken Griffey Jr. out in shallow center for the second out of the inning.
Joe Biggio is complaining. He wants instant replay on that play at second base.
Well, Tommy, they said it was inconclusive. Lou Brock wanted to see instant replay for this softball game. Now, Tommy, it's been in the National Football League for many years. Would you like to see instant replay ever involved in baseball?
No, I think it should be left up to the decisions of the umpire, and I think that's the way it should be.
Tommy Lasorda with a vote against instant replay for baseball as Tony Gwynn gives a souvenir to the fans. There's 2 down, 1-1 count.
Tony must have some relatives sitting over there, and he keeps hitting those softballs over there.
Play. 2 strikes.
On the ground for the shortstop, and it's booted by Ripken. Does he get it? No, not in time to not block. Well, Tommy, you talked to him just a few minutes ago. Maybe we better send you back over to the American League dugout because we know the way your emotions are.
He looks like he's playing shortstop with his bedroom shoes on. Watch. Look, watch it. Watch it. Look.
Let's open the door. For the National League, can they capitalize on the 2-out error by Ripken Jr.? It would be an unearned run, but the National League would not complain about it.
Well, I'll tell you, here's the guy you like to have up there hitting in this situation also. This guy's a tough out.
What? Does he go the other way, Tommy, as they're going to pull the ball? Sandberg at the plate. And he takes ball 1.
With runners in scoring position, he is looking for a pitch that he can drive.
Big hopper for Robin Ventura with a short wave for the force play. And the side is retired. So Brian Harvey gets out of it. 2 outs, 2 on jam. Will we see extra innings as we have completed 5 now in Palm Springs? Tight affair. We suspected it'd be a close one. The American League, a slight favorite coming into the game. Lou Brock has really pumped up those National League All-Stars, though, and it's even after 5.
Hey, Lou, you got
Monday, Will's on death's doorstep. Can some doctor save him?
That's a gold mine. I ain't getting cut by no doctor with Nissan.
It's an all-new Fresh Prince. Then Joey's dreams come true. 12 of the hottest centerfold models, and he is out.
I am so amused.
It's an all-new NBC Monday.
1991 left hundreds of Cleveland stores with overstocked inventory.
So we're announcing the greatest sell-off event ever held under one roof.
It's Cleveland on sale at the IX Center February 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Save up to 50, 60, even 80%.
Never before have so many of Cleveland's greatest stores offered such massive price reductions on clothing,
electronics,
furniture,
jewelry,